Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Endgame. I'm back in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate much sooner than I originally expected, but the last time that I tried to record, say, a PSP game, well no, that's not true, the last livestream that I did was a PSP game, but I tried to do Freedom Unite after that, and it just didn't really work out. I wasn't able to find anyone to play with, so I decided to go and give the 3DS games a try again. I wanted to do 3 Ultimate, that was my first choice, but all of the people playing 3 Ultimate at the moment, as I speak, are in fact low rank or high rank, or G rank helping HR1s through the game, so that's not really what I want for the Endgame series. So here we are, in 4 Ultimate. I found a person to play with. He is of G rank level. May as well show both screens so that you can see for yourself what it is I refer to. He is a G1 hunter. I'm doing some of his quests. They seem to be key quests at the moment, just the basic G rank quests of G1. And yeah, he's got me giving him a hand at this stage. I'm just a random person that he managed to meet along the way. I do need some sonic bombs for this, because it's frickin' Cephadrome. It's 2 Cephadrome. That is the quest that is on the board. But I suspect that I may not actually have sonic bombs, which is not great. I don't think it's bomb casing and screamer, is it? It's screamer and maybe sap plant or ivy, something like that. Should I try to make some sonic bombs? I'm going to let this guy know. I'm just typing to him and saying, just seeing if I can make sonic bombs. I don't want him to become concerned that I have gone AFK or something like that. Alright, is it ivy? No. Let's find screamers, because they are definitely required. They're technically a monster material, so I'll probably find them somewhere over here. Here we go, screamer sack. I've actually gone to the trouble of calling it a sack here. Screamer sack. I do regret to say that whatever it's intended to be paired with in order to make sonic bombs is not currently in my possession. So that means no sonic bombs. I didn't want to get his hopes up, so I've told him that I don't have the materials at the moment. Kind of unfortunate, but whatever. Alright. Beverage today is Wein Stefano. The original German beer, ladies and gentlemen. From the year 1040. 1040! What the fuck? Yeah, they've kept this in barrels for a long time. It is one of my favorite beers, it's really nice. I do love Weizens. I don't know if I say Weizen or Weizen. I need some kind of German interpreter, or even an advisor. A German language advisor. I should employ one for my live streams. They will only sometimes be useful. Okay. So there isn't really a shortcut for me to take. Sometimes you can actually enter the large desert area through a pathway that appears here, but I believe that's nighttime only. For a period of time I wasn't entirely sure what the conditions were for that pathway to appear, but I literally think that it's every nighttime quest. That's my current assumption, and even guess, if we want to be even less flattering in my terminology. Or less suggestive of knowledge or skill or even consideration. So one of the good things about 4th generation Cephadrome is that he doesn't just permanently remain in the sand. Admittedly, it's not permanent in 2nd and 1st gen either, it just feels that way. It goes on forever. If you don't have sonic bombs, you are terribly, terribly disadvantaged. You can use bombs and crag shots and things of that sort, but honestly, sonic bombs are the way to go, generally speaking. I've got dual blades on hand at the moment. They seem to be working rather well. I don't mind doing the basic quests every now and again. It's this sort of thing that I actually prefer doing in 4 Ultimate versus, say, guild quests. Some people play 4 Ultimate and all they want to do are guild quests. I'm not that way inclined, personally. I'm not referring to this guy when it comes to doing guild quests, because it's entirely understandable that when you just come into G rank, you're going to be focusing on your G rank urgent, or rather your G rank key quests. I'm just talking about other people who might be at a higher rank like myself in 4 Ultimate, and comparing myself to them when I say that I'm not particularly interested in guild quests. It's not an endgame I've ever been very attached to, and for me it has always detracted from the game. I like to just do normal hunts. But oftentimes the guild quests are all that is on offer, so that's what I do. And so be it. Very cool sword and shield being used by Bolas there. It is a sword and shield that I think that I've seen only in preview form, but never equipped. I didn't realize that it was that large. That is a really hefty sword and shield in terms of its size. Whoops, I didn't actually mean to do that. My mobility was very low there, when I actually wanted it to be quite high. I suppose I was pressing X plus A to do my forward advance attack, but that obviously only works if your weapon is unsheathed, which it wasn't at that time. One thing I have noticed is that Blast is very effective against this guy in terms of flinching him, and I suppose that's just to ensure that if you do get a Blast explosion off on him, he will get sent out of the ground as it happens. Oh, get out of there. Was unable to do so, and almost got wiggled on, in addition to that. Oh, let's paintball the one that we've been fighting, because you can see at this stage, there's almost nothing to differentiate them. Alright. So the one I've paintballed is the one we have been fighting. I can see that Bolas has put a shock trap down. I'll try to make use of it, but... Oh, I think he's going straight into it. Almost. Almost went straight into it. Let me expand the map. Where's the button for that? Square. Well, I would like to pursue the one that we've been fighting, so I'm going to do that. It is tempting to stay in this area and use that shock trap, but... yeah, it looks like Bolas is not actually all that committed to the trap either, which is good news. We are of the same mind as a regular Cephalos right there. The hint generally is the... if you haven't noticed the difference in size, it is usually the coloration that is different. The Cephadrome is usually darker. And the same can be said of 2nd and 1st gen, but it is much more clear in 4th generation. Much more visibly dark. Oh. Down to blue sharpness, which I will fix in a moment. I just want to stay on the monster for now. Ah, very good. I did suspect we were getting close. This is actually the second hunt that I'm doing with Bolas. I've noticed that he, if not is... let me rephrase that. If not well equipped, I can say that Bolas is at least perfectly capable of doing G-rank hunts, skill-wise. So... yeah, I'm assuming that he... I think that's a... is it the Star Knight sword that he's got there? Because he's using the full Star Knight armor, and that sword and shield does perfectly match his Star Knight armor, so I think it is the Star Knight weapon. Wasn't something that I thought that you could get in high rank, but there you are. For fuck's sake. That is extremely annoying. What the fuck? No, you don't, asshole. I think this Cephadrome is actually a bit smaller. There is the option for us to use the shock trap that was placed earlier, but it's really far away, I couldn't be bothered. It's literally on the other side of the map. The most satisfying fucking blast ever. Very nicely done. I suspect from the perspective of Bolas, that would have been even more impressive than what I saw, because unfortunately, the monster actually flew out of my field of view for quite some distance. At least you could see the shadow of it, but a little bit more visibility of the explosion would have been nice. Yeah, this blast, coupled with the ice, ended up being a very good choice for this monster. Very weak to these blast explosions. That Cephalos got hit by the big Cephadrome. Got pushed out of the way. I don't think there's much left in you, to be honest, Cephalos. Sorry, Cephadrome. Getting confused between who's who now. There you go. That's a limp, I presume? Yes. Not just a limp, but the end of the quest. So Bolas is G1 star. There may not actually be a high rank version of his loadout. My guess, perhaps, is that as a G1 person, he was actually carried through the Star Knight quest. I don't really remember what monsters feature in the Star Knight quest, but I think they're actually quite difficult. I think it's 2 monsters in the arena and you fight them at the same time, and they're quite strong. I don't remember which monsters they are, but could involve a Devil Joe? It might be Devil Joe and Rajang, something like that. And if this guy has the whole loadout at G1, I'll be quite impressed. Quest complete. I have to confess that my loadout is not the most attractive ever to have been contrived in the history of fashion hunting. But it's good, it's functional. I'll show you the skills. It is very much aligned with the way that I prefer to play dual blades, which is not using dash juice and mega dash juice, but instead relying on armor skills to reduce the amount of stamina consumption that I experience with using the dual blades in demonized mode. So here we go, we've got Marathon Runner and Stamina Recovery up on the same loadout. Also got high grade earplugs and honed blade. Can't go wrong there. Have I been... okay, good. I was not playing with both screens up. I would have been really annoyed by that. Okay, so he has the Star Knight sword, the G rank one. And I can see that's really the only thing that he's using, but that's very acceptable for early G rank. That's a rarity 10 weapon. So I can see that he's got Star Rook. This is something that I wasn't aware actually existed. So you can get the Star Knight loadout, but for high rank. So I suspect maybe he forged the Star Knight sword in high rank, or perhaps even low rank, but I suspect high rank. And now that he's in G rank, he was actually able to get it to rarity 10, so I might actually check to see what the requirements are for that. I'm interested to know if he needed to do the G rank Star Knight quest in order to make that sword. Let me get the decks up, one moment. This is something I really should have up before I begin the live stream, because it's my Bible, as I say. I live and die by the Monster Hunter decks. Ping's decks, more specifically. Weapon, sword and shield. Star Knight Sword. Okay, so it's not actually something that you forge initially in high rank and then upgrade into the Star Knight Sword. It can only be produced. It cannot be upgraded into. So that means he did the Star Knight quest in order to get that. So wonderful pass. I'm just interested to see, or interested to confirm, that that's something that G1 people can do. So wonderful pass. USJ Tigrex 3D. I seem to be remembering the quest wrong, so maybe there are two different Star Knight quests. So Tigrex 3D. Where is it? USJ Tigrex 3D. Oh, we got a third person. That's good news. And yes, G1 permit. So he would have had access to this quest as soon as he got into G rank. And he went and made the Sword and Shield. Very good for the early G rank stuff. Hit list Plum Daimyo Hermitaur. The elemental weaknesses will be a little bit different for this monster, as compared to the other crabs, so I'm going to double check. Probably fire, maybe? Or, no, if it's thunder then it won't be different, will it? Plum Daimyo. Weakness is primarily ice, and then secondarily thunder. So if you did bring thunder, because you just assumed that all crabs were weak to thunder, you would not be in error in choosing to do that. But your primary does technically end up being ice. It seems that the people who joined the room have now left. Maybe it's because they couldn't join our session in progress, so they just decided to move on. It is very tempting, and what I'm about to say may not make a whole lot of sense to those of you who haven't played emulated on Citra before, but sometimes when you join a session in the emulator, you can't join the in-game hall. It actually you're required to have the group that you've just joined close their hall and put their hall back up. It's very annoying. But sometimes you can join the hall. It just depends. It's pure luck, really. Like, for example, this guy who just joined, he did not need for us to remake the hall for him. He was able to just come straight in. So that's really good. That's excellent news. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it for the following reason. We're already clearing these quests really damn quickly, so now they're going to be extremely quick with another endgame G-rank person assisting. So, yeah. Mixed feelings, I suppose, is what I would say. Let's bring Awakened Greatsword. Do you think... Oh, I probably don't have an Ice Awakened Greatsword, do I? That would be really pushing it. What are my Ice Greatswords? Ukanlos Sky Cleaver. Let's bring that. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? Bring our Rocksteady Greatsword set with the Ukanlos Sky Cleaver. It's a good opportunity to use a weapon that I almost never pull out. It's not a weapon that I use in Freedom Unite, and I do not often use it here either. I think I used it in my... Yeah, I had it in my original save file on Portable Third many years ago, but it's... Yeah, that's long gone. And I don't really use it anymore, so... As in, the Greatsword. What's Riptor got? That's pretty excessive. He's got Challenger +2 and Hone Blade on a very high raw. Let me say that again. Very high raw longsword with paralysis. So this monster is going to get completely bodied. Also, look at my damage. 2025. That's because I've got attack honing on what is already a very strong greatsword. It has -30 affinity, but you know. It's pretty effective, despite all that. What's the sharpness? I think, yeah. It doesn't have purple sharpness, but still. If you're looking at white, that's perfectly reasonable. It's the Acantor weapons that tend to have dubious effectiveness on account of their very limited sharpness. It wasn't really until the advent of Bludgeoner in Generations, or perhaps even Generations Ultimate, that Acantor weapons were even worth using. But Ukanlos, there was usually a case to make for them because they did have decent sharpness still. I feel very sorry for you, Plum Daimyo Hermitaur. I wish you luck. At least to start off with, it's just me that you'll be contending with. It feels much more like an impact weapon than a cutting weapon, doesn't it? Because you can see you don't actually use the edge of the sword, you use the flat part with the spikes on it. It's a pretty unique weapon. Oh. I suspected that I might be able to get out of the way of that, because I wasn't the target. Yeah, this is fun. I'm glad that I'm able to use this weapon without feeling like I'm not as strong as I could be. Because it's a Plum Daimyo Hermitaur, so it doesn't particularly matter. Alright, I'll settle for this position. This is not the ideal placement for me during a knockdown, but fine. Bolas, and I hope I'm wrong about this, I think he's taking it upon himself to go materials gathering, while he just leaves us to kill the monster. I don't agree with doing that. Okay, I think I was wrong about that. It was just a feeling that I was getting based on how long it was taking him to actually get here. You know, the two of us, Riptor and myself, would be able to take this thing down within 2 or 3 minutes. So, technically Bolas doesn't have to contribute. I was concerned that he realized that and decided to instead spend his time doing something else. Yeah, it looks like I was dead right with what I suggested before, because he still hasn't gotten involved with the fight. What a shame. That's no way to play Monstander, I'm telling you. It's an abuse of our assistants to basically just leave us to kill the monster and then you go and do your gathering. It's not like you can have a feline comrade in offline and then you go off and do something while it fights the monster. That's not something that you can do there, and it's not something you should do here. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to reprimand him in chat, because at the end of the day, I'm not really in the mood to have that conversation with him, but it's not the right attitude. It is leeching, effectively. The community historically has been pretty good about leeching, in that they don't do it. People do at times have suspicions of leeching, but it doesn't actually end up being true. And I was getting a feeling there that Bolas was tempted to leech. He is now getting involved, belatedly. But, yeah. If anything, he's probably feeling emboldened to not actually get involved. Seeing that the monster's already limping as soon as he got over to the fight. Trap down. Happy to go for a capture if that's what you want. Riptor doesn't seem very interested. He could, of course, have lined up with the trap while healing, but instead elected not to. As you can see, very quick hunt. I have every reason to believe that all of the hunts in this livestream are going to be really quick. And so be it. So be it. Well, I'd say that was the first time that I've used the Yukano's Greatsword in at least 6 years. At least. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that I've used it since I brought my save over to PC, which I did in... I think it was in 2019 when I did that. It could have been 2018. Late 2018, early 2019. I don't have a recollection of any occasion where I used that Greatsword since then, so... Could have actually been more like 10 years ago when I last used this Greatsword. But anyway. It's a good weapon, it just doesn't often feature in my mind. It doesn't really come up as an option when I'm thinking of greatswords to equip. I'll try to change that. It's entertaining. It's a fun weapon. And as far as I'm concerned, pretty effective too. Looks like Riptor is just going to keep with that loadout for whatever comes up. It is very much a general use loadout. Effective against almost anything that you fire. But I can't really play that way. That's really boring. Really boring. For me, personally. I'm not holding it against him. It's just I can't stand that. Using the same loadout for every fight. Gets very boring very quickly for me. Alright. So I suspect it will be ice element. I'll just confirm that to be absolutely sure. Because we've got someone running paralysis, I'm actually willing to go Blade Master against this monster. I almost always go ranged with the bowgun, but if we've got someone running paralysis, let's just bite the bullet. Go element. And so this is a general use armor set that I would equip for longsword and switch axe, and potentially sword and shield, maybe, but mostly longsword and switch axe. Let's bring Deora's Jana. One of the rare occasions that I actually bring myself to use a switch axe of my own volition, rather than having it forced upon me by some kind of roulette selection. Which is what I was doing in Generations Ultimate. I could do it for this game as well, but I haven't set up the roulette for it, so it'll happen in due course, just not right now. So yeah, this loadout is very heavily focused on elemental damage. I do technically have two armor sets that really function in the exact same way. It is this general use elemental armor set, and what I have referred to as my element file charge blade set. Now the reality is that the skills end up being very, very similar. This one just really doubles down a little bit more on elemental damage than even that one does. So I'll have to compare them because I had a feeling I created them at very different points in the lifespan of my character. So basically the Charge Blade one was made several years later, and I looked at it and then said to myself, I think this is better than just my general use elemental set, and it has the same function, you know. I might have a look at them side by side after this quest and see how I feel about it now. Alright, come on, you big, ugly bastard. I do have high graded plugs on this, okay. Okay, I was trying to actually go into the combo, but it reloaded anyway. Which is not a surprise to anyone paying attention, I just wasn't paying attention. The reason why I'm aiming for his leg here is to give me a pathway out of his range, because he expands very quickly and covers a great distance with his attacks when he's inflated. So if I'm attacking the edge of his leg like that, it gives me a higher chance that I can get out of his way. Whereas if I'm in the center of his body, there's no way. When he inflates himself, as he does very quickly, he's definitely just going to hit me straight away, whether I try to evade or not. Hoping for a paralysis pretty soon. I didn't even dive there because I hubristically assumed that he wouldn't cover that much ground, but no. Got the fucking tremor as well. I wonder how effective paralysis is going to be against this monster. I ask the question because he is one of the paralysis monsters of the series. He literally breathes paralytic saliva, or drools paralytic saliva. So, yeah, and his weapons are paralysis weapons as well. Alright, there you go. Didn't take too long to proc, I don't think. That worked out really nicely. You may have been able to see there that after my elemental burst, it pushed me out of the range of his deflation attack. Which is, despite being not much of an attack as you'd expect it, it is still pretty effective. It's something regular Zamtrios does as well. Oh, the harbour opportunity. More like getting run over opportunity, or rolled over, whatever terminology you'd prefer to use. Alright, don't interrupt me in my Nahabra carving. Don't you dare. Yeah, razor wing. If you see a Nahabra, carve it. Well, a dead one that hasn't been destroyed. You never know what you might get. You never know what you might need in the future. And you might get useful things when you carve it. Things that you may need in the future, and quite frankly, it's annoying to grind them specially. Taking the time to very specifically grind those monsters is just... it's frustrating. Not my kind of thing. Not sure how that didn't hit me, actually. Getting some really satisfying hit stun there on his... not hit stun, hit lag. On his stomach while swinging at it. Alright, so that is indicative of the amount of damage dealt to him. If he goes from this area into that area, it means, usually, that he's capturable. And if not capturable, then definitely at a low percentage of health. Didn't really need a sheath there, did I? Goodbye. They're just dying, folks. There's not much that they can do. I don't think this switch axe has attack honing, though. So it would be wrong to say that this loadout is geared for high-level guild quests. So I couldn't say that I'm actually level 140 guild quest level here. Riptor is, but unless you've got a really good relic weapon, or you've got some sort of honing on your weapon, in my opinion, you're not really beyond G-rank level. Being geared for level 140 does effectively take you beyond G-rank into a new category of strength. But yeah, I don't feel like I really fall within that right now. Blue belly. Oh. I found a person inside the blue belly. I should be checking the Wycoon to see if I can trade for things, or if I'm currently in the process of trading things. But if I remember correctly, I don't really have any points, resource points, whatever they're called here. I think it's Y Academy points. I do need to change that. Yeah, 7,675 is not very impressive. I'm currently requesting blue mushrooms and god bugs. And I've got one more round to go. Bumble pumpkin. Alright, that'll do me. What's on the board? Having two people who simply do not need to change their loadouts before departing on the quest puts me in a weird position. It just makes me feel like I'm keeping them waiting every single time. It doesn't bother me. I'm just cognizant of it. Okay, so Red Khezu is weak to water. Rathian is weak to thunder and dragon. Well, dragon primarily, I believe, and then thunder as a secondary. So how much thunder damage does, or excuse me, how much dragon damage does Red Khezu take? It'll be interesting to see this. If it's anything approaching 15 per weak point, then I'll go with that. Where is Khezu on this monster list? There he is. No, he is taking 5 damage from dragon on all body parts. So I think what I'll do is I will opt for raw damage. I did say that I would compare my elemental sets that I have. There you go. See that? Sign by sign. One of them does look better than the other, doesn't it? But admittedly, only one of them has high-grade earplugs, so... Yeah, I would say that maybe this general use element one is a little bit more cohesive. It's definitely... I think that's more effective, honestly. Better DPS. Let's bring a gun lance, raw gun lance, or a blast gun lance. We'll see what I have on hand. Could also bring... Yeah, let's bring... No, I think Khezu's resistant to poison, so I'll bring... But that guy's using... Alright, that's it. Blast. That guy is already using paralysis, so I won't double down on paralysis. Doesn't feel very appropriate. So blast will do me. Whenever I see the feline skill Feline Hurler, I don't think of throwing things, I think of vomiting. Makes me think it's a food skill whereby if you get drunk in the Hunter's Hub, it gives you like a attack up small or something, I don't know. And the story behind it would be that you are actually projectile vomiting on the monsters, and then dealing a bit of extra damage that way. It's kind of funny. That's what I think of when I see Feline Hurler. It would definitely be better than its current function, which increases the damage of things like throwing knives. Great. Yeah, I'm gonna get my my fucking boomerang set out with Feline Hurler. Does make me want to hurl, actually. Oh no, follow up. I hadn't counted on that. Just barely managed to get the Wyvern Fire out before I got hit by that, but as you can see, flowing from that choice to Wyvern Fire next to that thing that was going to paralyze me came incredible back-to-back impacts, which led to my death. That was a no possibility of survival kind of situation. I don't think that even if I mean, unless they were being really observant of how dire my situation was, and then they whipped out some life powders, you know, there was no way for me to survive that, so... I'll tell you what, this cold beer is actually helping to keep me cool, I think. If it weren't for this beer, I'd be very, very hot. It's just because it's still light outside, I can't actually open my window, which sits behind me, because if I do that, light will actually shine through my green screen, and that will compromise the effectiveness of my green screen. Sorry, Bolas, I may have hit you though. Raising my shield for the Rathian roar. Looks like I hit Riptor there. My apologies. Imagine if I shot Riptor off the monster while he was about to mount. That would be terrible. That would be really bad. A moment of considerable embarrassment for me. Without a doubt. Alright, has my Wyvern Fire recharged? I think it has. Yep. Excellent time to use it. I should have paintballed the Rathian while he was here. She was here, sorry. Staring off into space. Good news. Sorry, Bolas, once again. It is the curse of the Gunlance user to always hit the teammates away. It depends on the internet connectivity, so if the connectivity is a little spotty, well, the same thing that controls lag compensation will, I think, affect how easy it is for your attacks to actually make contact with your team, even if they're not standing close by. So obviously with lag compensation, that's where on your screen you either did make contact with the monster, but the damage wasn't applied to the monster because of the connectivity issues. Or you swung at the monster, didn't make contact on your screen, but did deal the damage for the same reason. That scenario can also lead to your teammates getting hit by things that weren't really close to them on your screen, but on their screen, it was close to them. Lag compensation. I really don't know where Khezu's gone, and I can see that we're all going in different directions. This does not bode well. I don't carry Psycho Serums in this game, not because I don't want to, but because I don't have access to them. I'm resource poorer in this game in a way that I'm not in the other ones. It's kind of annoying. I blame the Wycoon. That bastard. I'm just standing here because I don't really know where people are going. Oh! That's right. You died. I'm an idiot. Thought we were chasing after the Khezu. I need to pay more attention. So, they're going that way to try and find Rathian. I'm going to head down here just in case. Oh no, Riptor found them. Riptor found the Rathian. I like how, instead of saying, hey, I've now decided to go them, found them. No, it's a fucking female dragon. Get a grip. Let's get with the program, Doomlink. Come on. Ugh. I believe this is the correct place? Yes. Navigating this map is not always my strongest forte. So the reason why I evaded there was so that I could hopefully finish the evasion and then block the incoming tail. But instead, I just evaded and got hit. Ah, very good. Good flinch. Obviously, anytime you flinch a monster on the spiderweb, fuck me, they will fall through it. It's an interesting feature of the game. You don't see as much of it in Generations Ultimate, but it does still exist. We really need to tighten our belts and get things going. The faster we kill this Rathian, the lower the chances of us actually failing this quest. I can't believe that we're in this situation. Because I had my really stupid death, right? And then Bolas died from whatever it happened to be. I wasn't paying attention. But, yeah, we are actually in a position where we may fail this quest, so let's be nice and careful. Feels so nice to be playing this at 60 FPS. Anytime you go from playing 30 FPS Monster Hunter to 60 FPS, it feels so remarkable, so good. I think if more people played 60 FPS traditional Monster Hunter, they would have a better grasp of how traditional Monster Hunter compares to 5th and 6th gen in terms of animations. Oh god. But yeah, sadly the only traditional Monster Hunter games that you can play in 60 FPS are this game, Generations, and Generations Ultimate. If you do it in 3 Ultimate, it's bad news. Not recommended. The game is very much designed around 30 frames per second, so if you push it up to 60, weird glitchy things will happen. Like, for example, if you do an uppercut with the hammer, you will advance like double the distance. That's just one example that I can think of. There are plenty of examples of the game just breaking because of that. Sorry, Ripton. I might actually apologize. Where are my shouts again? I don't actually know how to get to my shouts. Oh. It's the lower screen. I would click chat on the lower screen and then find my shouts that way, but the moment has already passed. There you go. That's a nice way to complete the quest. Fiery finish. Looks like we've got a tail to carve as well. Double carve on the tail. Do I have feline carver? No, I don't. It's the tier. That's fine. Yeah, I've got feline hurler. How could I forget? It's interesting that I'm still carrying pickaxes in this game. In this game in particular, where really I've been getting graven charms from guild quests to get my creator talismans. No real need for me to be mining. I suppose it's a concern that I might run out of the actual mining materials if I don't keep on top of my mining. Maybe that's why I do it. There you go, Rathian Mantle. Nice. I'm probably not the one who needs it out of these 2 people that I'm hunting with, but... or out of this group of 3. But I will accept the generosity of the game nonetheless. I've still got... so that was my 3rd or 4th one. I think I had 3 in my box, and that became the 4th one. The fact that I've got that many suggests that I haven't recently had a need for one. I do remember that I needed a Rathian Mantle for something. I think it related to Tigrex. Molten Tigrex. Let's see if I can find it. I think I was forging the... Molten Tigrex Greatsword. Let's have a look. Here it is. No, so that just requires a Dire Blast Heart. That's fine. So, what did I need a Rathian Mantle for? I wonder. There was something. Oh, I can make this. When did this happen? When did I get the materials to be able to forge that? Because yeah, I don't have a Thunder Lance in this game, see? I do not have a Thunder Lance. And now I can suddenly forge this. Wow. Well, Thank you. Please be a Thunder Weak monster. Please. Finally got a Thunder Lance in this fucking game. The reason why I didn't have one, and this is the case for pretty much all of the monsters that I... Not monsters, pretty much all of the weapon types that I have in For Ultimate do not have all of the elements, like I would have in any other Monster Hunter game where I've reached HR 700, and the reason why is because I've been wasting my time in guild quests thinking, oh, I don't need to forge weapons from monsters, I can just get it from the random pool of relic weapons that you get in guild quests, and as a result, I do not have as many weapons to choose from as I should as an HR 700 person. It's really unfortunate, but it's a reality of this game. Thunder would not be a great choice for this monster. It would be passable, but certainly not as good as fire, so I will bring a fire weapon. Once again, keeping the team waiting, because these guys do not actually prepare in any measurable way for the quests before they actually depart on them, so... There you have it. What do we want this time? Maybe... Let's just bring Longsword. Just for fun. What is my fire longsword in this game? How about we bring Awaken Fire? That sounds like a good idea. So I've got Awaken Greatsword. I'd like... Well, I guess my general use Awaken set would be Crimson Fatalis, wouldn't it? And I've paired it with... Oh no, apparently... Well, what the hell do I have attached to this? It's a triple slot. Constitution 3. Ah, I see. So what it's actually doing is preventing me from getting negative constitution. Okay. It wasn't giving me an extra skill after all. It was making this armor set slightly less bad. So... there you go. Look, it's a good armor set. You can see critical eye +2, hone blade, bright English, come on. Blight proof, guts, and enlightened blade. Enlightened blade is basically your awaken. It basically unlocks your latent element or status and boosts it as well. So it's basically in the one skill, awaken, status attack +1, and elemental attack +1. So, good stuff. Although, status attack plus is a +1 and a +2, so a 10-point and a 15-point skill. And element attack up is a 10-point skill. There's no 15-point version, so... Technically it would be awaken, status attack +1, and element attack up in the one skill. Good opportunity to use this longsword though. This is a longsword from Monster Hunter Tri. A pretty cool weapon design, but not something that I've ever had the occasion to use, except for, I think, Monster Hunter Tri, where I also used it as a fire awakened longsword. What are we hunting again? Tidal Najarala. I'm glad I checked. Did not want to go that way. Don't have purple sharpness with this sword, but that's okay. While purple sharpness is ideal, it's not absolutely essential. No, be quiet. Got out of the trap. I was being encircled. Missed the final slash. It was all for naught. I walked into the ricochet. But yeah, this is a fun way to use fire element, don't you think? Enlightened Blade. Probably not something that I would use for a more consequential quest. Something that was stronger than this monster, or indeed something that I really wanted to fully contribute to as best I could. I probably wouldn't use this loadout for that. But it's still effective enough. Surprisingly, I'm not bouncing off the tail shell with white sharpness. I thought I'd need at least purple to not bounce off that. Must have been a false memory. Alright, let's get ourselves up to red, shall we? I think I'm right in saying that when you reach red, you actually increase your gauge more with each attack than if you were at a lower level. Like, for example, yellow or white. I could be wrong about that. But that was the impression that I had in that moment. Well, thank you for that, that was brilliant. One of the rare instances where using a longsword causes you to get thrown by a sword and shield. Usually the longsword would be top dog when it comes to that sort of thing. Only I can flinch, teammates. I will continue with blue sharpness, given the circumstances. It would be annoying to have to sharpen up to white every time. Alright, definitely sharpening now. Fine. Slightly annoying, but I'll live with it. I don't imagine the monster will last for much longer. Oh wow. It's gone further than this area. Interesting. Quite funny to watch the Khonshu get thrown by that attack. Need to hurry and charge this up before I lose my charge completely. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. In Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, you will lose your red gauge, and your entire longsword charge will be reset, irrespective of how frequently you perform a full spirit combo. Was definitely a point of acute frustration for people who enjoyed the longsword weapon type. For me, I really don't care. I mean, the longsword is still really, really strong, really, really effective, and really, really easy to use, even when they choose to balance it in that way. Was it a good balancing choice? I don't know. There's not much in it, to be honest. It's either fairly inconsequential or unhelpfully inconvenient. But the level of inconvenience is not great enough for me to really bestir myself one way or the other. I mean, who gives a shit? I did encounter someone in the past who really hated that. They just refused to use longsword in this game because it would lose its charge after a set period of time. And, yeah, I mean, everyone's got things that bother them, I suppose. I don't want to completely dismiss the grievance, but, yeah, it really did not bother me in the past, and does not bother me now. That was a gold crown smaller than Najarala. Wouldn't have noticed. Well, rather than wouldn't have, I didn't. I didn't notice. It looked normal size to me. There you have it. I'll just get ahead of events and eat right now. What on earth are those arm guards that Riptor's got? Let's find out. GX Hunter's arms. It looked like a big insectoid carapace on his arm. Interesting. I'm sure I've got both the Blade Master and the Gunner Hunter's GX arms. They're a really good mixed armor piece. Or piece for mixed armor sets. Seer of Swords. I suspect I will be going range for this one. It's the only way that I can enjoy a confrontation against Seregios. Yeah, alright, we'll bring a bow. Maybe rapid this time. I brought spread last time I brought a bow to this monster. So, this time I think we'll do rapid. Pierce would never be really appropriate. It would be usable, but definitely not ideal. Definitely not. Ice is what we... Or is it thunder? It's thunder. Yes, thunder is what we want. That's Pierce. I think Rapid Thunder is actually... Oh, I've got a much more fun option. Rapid Thunder, I have a set specifically for Rapid Thunder, and it is sexy. Let's have a look. Awaken Rapid. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, a fucking Awaken Elemental Bow set. Who is letting off an air horn in the street? Honestly, I'm trying to conduct a live stream. I guess that's just the person in the street also registering their enthusiasm for my amazing loadout. I agree, sir. Fucking Awaken Elemental Bow. How many people can say they've got a set like that? It does have narrow use. It's not... I'll have to check to see what other Awaken bows I can get. But yeah, Sacred Bow G. It's pretty cool looking. I sadly didn't bring coatings, and I'm not going to... Do you know what? I'm going to risk it. Don't try to depart. Don't try to depart. I gave this guy plenty opportunity to realize that I was no longer readied up, so... Alright, power coatings. Excellent. Very good news. I'm not going to be completely useless for this fight after all. Thank goodness for that. So obviously when you opt for rapid over spread, the required accuracy in order to be effective is going to change quite drastically. Spread automatically is not going to be an accurate shot type, because it's a wide arc. Whereas in the case of rapid, it's all focused in one general area. So that's when you want to actually aim it on a weak point. I might actually check the shot weaknesses of Seregios while I'm here. Because an obvious one is the head, right? But I want to see what else is effective. So, neck... Well, actually, the neck ends up being better than the head for all things. So, that's one thing that well, that was one point I wasn't aware of. So the belly is also good, and the legs. So the legs are a good shot zone. Good shot zone. And with the exception of the neck, all of the good shot zones are also the good elemental hit zones. Best elemental hit zone, however, is the head, despite the neck being the better shot zone. Thank you, Monster Hunter Bible. Don't you think this bow's cool? Look at it. Fucking look at it. And it's got heavy shot. Or power shot, whatever you call it. I think it's got, oh no, it's still rapid on, no, it's rapid level 5 on the maximum charge. Good shit. That's what I like to see. I'm liking this bow. I knew that I liked it, but now that I'm using it, I like it even more. Something about the size of it is really appropriate. The size and the shape. It's really striking, don't you think? I'm very happy with this loadout. I'm glad that I remembered that I had it as an option. So I'm aiming for the head for the elemental weak point, to be clear. It remains a good shot zone, even though the neck is technically better. But it's definitely better for me to be aiming for the head, considering my elemental output, which is 230. Sort of missed the head though. Probably shouldn't have hit fine. Sometimes going for the power shot like that does cause you to completely miss. I can get around that by being a little better at the game, to be blunt. That was me attempting to do an arc shot, even though I should remember that it's either or in this game. You've either got arc shot or you've got power shot. So of course we do have a shock trap to make use of here, but it is mounting time. I was diving just in case the roar did come through. Come on, shock trap. I feel so bad for this monster. Just look at him. He can't do shit. Goodbye. Poor bastard. He wasn't able to do anything. Absolute beatdown. Absolute beatdown. Feels good, actually. Got a Seregios lens. The game agrees that was a good show. Jolly good show, says Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Got a tail to carve up here. Weirdly, I had no earthly idea that it was here. And yet, I came up here as if I knew it were here. Weird. I guess I was just moving around aimlessly. And then happened to realize there was a tail to carve. And, incidentally, a shiny to gather. In addition to that. Bolas Negras has just said in the chat, "Thanks, brothers." I mean, he said GGS at various points in the hunts, but the choice to say thanks, brothers, makes me concerned. This could be his last hunt. And if so... 2 lenses, wow. That is 18 Seregios lenses on hand. Okay, he says he has to go to sleep. Very well. Very well. I'm going to stay in the room. We'll see if the other guy stays in the room. We can definitely two-man whatever the hell we want. Honestly. Maybe not whatever the hell we want. Not guild quests. But, yeah, that was fruitful. Got a few quests done. Would have been quite helpful for him as well. I don't have any more max potions on hand, and I now very, very clearly understand why I was trading for blue mushrooms and god bugs. See you next time, brothers. Yeah, goodbye. Alright. Let's take this shit. Should now be able to make some max potions, I hope. So I think blue mushroom and god bug gives me nutrients, does it not? Yes. Let's get to 30, shall we? And then I think it is mega nutrients. Anyway, nutrients and honey will make mega nutrients. And then it's mega nutrients and dragon toadstool. And it looks like Riptor is leaving as well. Oh well. I'll try to relocate. If I can't relocate, then that'll be it for the live stream. And hopefully you can understand why. Alright, what am I doing? Mega nutrients and dragon toadstool. $30 max potions. Good shit. I think I will next combine for honey because I've only got 35. That would... I'm sure there are other things that I need to trade for, but guess what? Honey is an absolute priority. Not you, lady. Although it's not your fault that I went to talk to you. It was entirely my fault for talking to the wrong person. Have no gratuity, so this must do for now. I was talking about not having many points, but I think I got more points in my own time, like a year ago. I think the way that I did it was I was trying to kill two birds with one stone. I was doing the... Oh, I have to remember what they're called. I was doing the offline expeditions, which net you new guild quests and resource points. Academy points, more specifically. So, yeah, I was able to get a few more Academy points. I do need more. I don't have many at all, to be honest. But I do have enough, at least, to trade with the Wycoon. That is important. Alright, so I'm going to head back to local play. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll show the second screen. Well, I won't be able to show you everything of what I'm doing, but what I'm now having to do is relocate to a new room. Let's look for people playing for Ultimate. Alright, so I've just relocated, but sadly, their room is not appearing, so I will try another group. Fucking FAD, really? Okay. Just means I have to go and get the damn password. So close to not having the desire to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Excellent. They are currently on a quest, but at least this is a room that I can join. This is a session in progress that I can hang around in. Very nice. So these guys are all, I'm not going to say early G rank, just G rank. One of them is G1, the other two are G2. They've been in the quest for 1 minute and 52 seconds. I suppose I'll make an edit then. I'm still going to be live, obviously. Those who are tuning in live are just going to have to sit here and listen to me talk to myself, I guess. What I'll do is I'll go and look through my stuff. For those watching the VOD, I will be back once these guys are ready to depart on another quest. I'll see you in a moment. This person's name is Bina, but with an N-A instead of an N-E-R. It's not often you see people calling themselves Beaners. And I'm back. It is with limited pleasure. Well, honestly, there is no pleasure in announcing this, but basically, we're doing the quest again that involves Red Khezu and Standard Rathian in one quest. Because it's going to be G1 stuff. I don't remember what came after that, but I suspect it's going to be that as well. Like, it was Seregios, wasn't it? Yeah. So we're probably going to do Seregios again also. Can't wait. Really can't wait. Awaken Lance, Lost Babel. Ugh, tempting. Do I have any other Awaken weapons that I can use with Lance? Sounds like fun. Oh, Poison? Awaken Poison? Yeah, let's do Awaken Poison. Feels a bit random. Feels very random. One thing I'm not that attracted to, conceptually, is using Awaken on relic weapons, because the reality is that I would probably be able to get the same weapon with the exact same stats, but not as an innate element. Or, sorry, not as a... What's the word that I'm looking for? Not innate. Why am I getting a mental blank on that? You know, something that requires Awaken. You know when there's a word, and it's so obvious, but you just can't think of it for some reason? On the tip of my tongue. Anyway. It's just annoying. Because I suspect that I'd be able to get this exact weapon, but with just normal 260 poison, not requiring Awaken. But the weapon looks cool. What are our skills here? Honed Blade, Critical Eye +1, Guard Boost, and Enlightened Blade. Okay. So, I felt that it wasn't realistic or in any way possible for me to get Guard Plus skills, but I did go for Guard Boost, and I agree with that choice. It's because if you're going to be shield reliant, go the whole way. You know, don't get hit by things that you can't guard. If I can guard everything, then that's what we want. That is the priority that I tend to stick to. Now, Poison isn't going to be that effective here against this Khezu, but too bad. I did press the button combo to counter, but just didn't happen. That time, I did not press the button combo. A bit of Guard Plus would help. God. He feels quite aggressive, doesn't he? That he does. Alright, I'll have to... No, I'm not going to do it, because it took too long for me to begin, right? So what I was going to do was I was going to do my running attack with the lance. But it took me too long to do it, because I have to go and grab my mouse and click on the fucking bottom screen in order to do it in this game. It's absolutely asinine. Like, why on earth would I want to do that? Just absolutely ridiculous. I see a poisoned Khezu. Not sure where Rathian is. Hopefully nowhere near us for a while. Go away, lady. Oh my god. Come away, Khezu. Fuck off. He knows precisely that I am in a very vulnerable position. This is so bad. Stop. There's nothing I could have done. I fucking defy any one of you to tell me that I could have avoided that. Oh my god. Terrible, terrible set of circumstances. I felt like the sole target of two monsters, and they were just working in tandem perfectly to fuck me over. That's how it felt in that moment. Bad shit. Bad shit. And now I have to go all the way back. I don't know which one we paintballed. Hopefully it was the Khezu. Part of me wants to say that it wasn't the Khezu, but that's only because of how quickly it was flying. I'm pretty sure it flies much faster in this game than it did in the old games. In the old games, oh my god. The slowest flying you could imagine. Taking the Pierce kind of flying speed. There's slow, crushingly slow, almost stationary, and then there's taking the piss, and Khezu used to be a bit of a piss take back then. I'm trying to hit the head when he goes down. It just gets a bit crowded around the head, as you can understand. Didn't take long, did it? What hammer are you using? Oh, it's the Gaiasp. Yeah. Good knockdown there. I don't mind being... Oh, sorry, Miku. I apologize. What I was actually about to say was, I don't mind being hit by Miku. Instead, I ended up hitting Miku, which was a bit unfortunate. Does this begin at purple sharpness? It does, so now that we've finished the fight, I may as well sharpen up to max. What was that? Feline Polisher. I thought it was strange that it was 2 and not 1, because if it were 1, then that would be speed sharpening, but the fact that it was 2 grinds with the whetstone made it quite clear it was not speed sharpening. It was instead Feline Polisher. Now we just have to cross our fingers that we can find Rathian in good time, rather than just having all of us run around aimlessly looking for the thing. I'm going to bank on area 4, 6, and 7. I'm assisted by the fact that I did this quest recently, and that's where she was that time. If she's not in 4, I'll double back and try to get to 7 via 6. She is in 4. Miku was hot on my heels. I sacrificed HP to get that paintball out. I'll attack the tail, seeing as though the head is already being dealt with. Ironic, considering this head is bigger than the last one. I just hate crowding around the head, okay? My stamina is not looking good. I'm glad you flinched her there, because I may have gotten hit otherwise. I didn't have the stamina to block her again. I positioned myself perfectly for the follow-up. In other words, perfectly for her, not perfectly for me. Far out. She's running at the entrance, or the exit, depending on what you want to say. Get over here, lady. Maybe not a great time to carve after all, hey Miku? No, you don't. You and your wind pressure. Just give it a rest. Stay in one place and let us beat on you aggressively. Ah, good flinch. Come on. Oh. Flincher, come on, let's do it, team. Yeah, nicely done, Beaner. You're not a Beaner, you're a fucking legend. You're a fair dinkum true blue fucking legend, mate. Alright. Good shit. Not the cleanest glass. It was a glass from a few days ago. But it's just going to have to suffice for now. I'm not going to drink directly out of the bottle, that would be unseemly to an extent where words fail to describe it adequately. Cheers. I'll probably do another 2 or 3 quests. We'll see how we travel. I'm just conscious of the fact that when I performed the edit, I was like an hour and 20 minutes into the live stream, so I want to make sure we hit the 2-hour mark and possibly go beyond that as well. And to use another fucking max potion. Again, I don't feel any... Well, I certainly feel no contrition for the team for having died, and I don't feel as if I performed poorly in any way for having died in that situation. It was an absolute clusterfuck of flailing monster limbs and me just getting chained. So, there you go. Ironic, though, that I was the one to die, whereas the G1 and G2 people performed very well, by comparison. It's just what it is. One thing that I did confirm off camera was that I am currently in the process of trying to make a new fire switch axe. It's a silver Rathalos switch axe, and it looks pretty cool. I might actually see if I can show you what the design is. It's got a bit of a look to it. Where are you? There you are. No, that's not you. Am I going insane? I am going really insane. I've forged 2 of them now. That's how fucking stupid I am. I had no recollection of having forged this up to here. Oh my god, what a waste of materials. How stupid. I actually managed to forge this, so while I was waiting for these people to come back, I was looking at my list of requirements. And I hadn't even considered that I had forged it up to rarity 5. I was like, well, where the hell is my work in progress? Can't find it. Let's just forge it. Let's forge as far as we can. Turns out I just made the thing twice. What a ridiculous thing for me to have done. Anyway, there's the switch axe. It looks pretty cool. It looks like the sword part of it is going to look similar to the, I guess the sword and shield, the traditional sword and shield weapon design for Rathalos, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it'll be a cool weapon as I upgrade it, but my god, I feel really stupid having made it twice like that. Absolutely daft. Ridiculous behavior. Slightly ironic that as I sit here playing this game for Ultimate, I get an email thanking me for the auto-renewal of my Nintendo subscription. Yeah. Literally the only thing that I use that for is playing online in Generations Ultimate. I get no other use out of Nintendo Online than that. Such a waste of money. I mean, that's the main reason why I'm sticking with PC gaming. Maybe not the main reason, there are several other reasons why. But, you know, it's going to be a big cost to me to upgrade my PC, which will happen in the future. But, my god, there's no way that I would go back to console gaming and just pay for online. It's not something that you should have to pay for. It was something that in Microsoft's greed, they knew that they could charge their player base for the privilege of using online, and they indeed did get away with it. And then Sony decided to do it, starting with the PlayStation 4, because they knew they would get away with it too, and they did. I'm not going to give them money for that, but of course, Nintendo started doing it because they were a bit sneaky about it. They pretended as if when they introduced cloud backup for their games, that this was somehow this new feature that was so totally worth paying for. Let me make this clear to you guys. When I bought Generations Ultimate, you didn't have to pay for the online. It wasn't until about a year later that you had to pay for the online, because that was when they introduced Nintendo Online. And, you know, you look at the features of Nintendo Online, like for me, literally, aside from having the privilege to play online, which previously was not something that needed to be paid for, I got cloud backup on my games, something that quite frankly should not require a payment, but whatever. It shouldn't require a payment. Like, build it into your business model. Finance it in other ways, rather than do it in such a direct way. It's so annoying. Anyway, PC gaming, all the way. All the way. It just so happens that the Monster Hunter series is not a series where I can do that every time. These guys are waiting very patiently for me. I do thank them for that. I will reward their patience with a very, very quick hunt. Very quick hunt. Let's do it. I will absolutely flatten this monster into oblivion. It will not even be recognizable when I'm done with it. I mean, they're probably not waiting with impatience anyway. These guys seem pretty laid back. See how not even a single one of them is standing impatiently at the departure gate? They're all just hanging around their box because they're making good use of their time. I like the attitude of these guys. But I do apologize for delaying you. Anyway. Paying for the privilege of playing online, in my opinion, is bullshit. Just another way to fleece your customers. And it should come as no surprise to anyone that it was the American Microsoft company that did it first. But it doesn't mean that we all need to have a race to the bottom. Like, Sony didn't need to do it, and I feel that the only reason why Nintendo did it was because Sony did it. And Sony did it because Microsoft did it, so... These companies need to remain competitive, and to be honest, it's a good revenue stream, isn't it? A lot of people play online games, so... yeah, just charge for it, I suppose. Why not? At the end of the day, the only thing stopping you is the customer's willingness to pay. And if they're willing, there you go. You've got carte blanche. Alright. Grand Finals confrontation. We will head in this direction. This will be the fastest way to go. So this loadout that I'm using here is what I usually use for this monster. I'm not too concerned about killing it too quickly. If all of these guys were G1, I would be able to assume that this was their first time fighting it. Not true, it's only one of them, so... doing a quick hunt like this is only going to affect one person's experience, right? Having said that, though, I've spent the entire fucking fight evading this thing. Even with 2 evade extender rolls from that distance, I barely got out of the way in time. Fuck's sake. It's a terrible attack. I'm not sure what you're doing. It was very unclear in that moment. No. Don't even try, you prick. And we've got him out. Gives me time to get myself in order. I think he's going to the right, isn't he? Or is he going to the left? To the left. The dorsal fin, I believe, is also a shot zone weak point. Or a shot weak point. Really? I'm your target? You dick. It really did look as if someone else was going to be the target. I can't be blamed for thinking that I wasn't. I've made that decision all on my own, and you can like it or lump it. I cannot be blamed for this error. I cannot be blamed for this error. Oh, fuck. pierce right down the body for maximum damage. That's what you want. I'd like to kill him here, to be honest, but it doesn't usually happen. If he keeps standing still, it will. It's very kind of you. I reckon it was pretty close to happening. If he had stood still maybe one more time, I'd say he would have died in this area. He would have died faster than this if it weren't for the fact that I was getting absolutely bodied. Quite literally bodied. Body slammed. It's about to happen again. Time to die. Very nice. I do like this tree. I really want to show you why I like this tree. Can't I climb on it? I thought that I could climb on it. Maybe not that one. Which ones can I climb on? Can I climb on this one? I feel like I'm going insane. Can I not climb on these trees? I don't know how to. Fine. Maybe that was just a fever dream 10 years ago. I had this really bad fever dream where I was actually climbing these fucking trees, and ever since then, I thought that it was actually true. Who knows? Alright. Oops, put away my nullberries instead of my monster material. Let's fix that. Honestly, this character looks so bad with this armor set. I just look obese. And I really don't care, it's a very functional loadout. Happy to share the skills with you. Challenger +2, attack up medium, recoil down +1, evade extend appears up. There you have it, folks. That in conjunction with 695 damage. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll do one more hunt. It may not take me to 2 hours, but it will be quite close. I just don't really feel like doing 2 more hunts. 1 more will do me. It's 2 hours now, but I had about 10 minutes that I had edited out from the VOD that will be made, so... Years. I do like these guys. They are keeping themselves on top of their progress. This guy hasn't made a loadout for G rank yet, but these two are at G2, and they are looking pretty good. This guy has already made a mixed set. Good on him. Bina is on the way to making a full Wrath Soul loadout. So, yeah, they're progressing well. There is a temptation, even for people in G2, to not even get a G rank loadout. It does happen. It's not something that I agree with in any way, but I've seen it enough times. I also don't dislike the pace of this room. I would prefer this to feeling like I'm being either rushed or perpetually delaying the team. Admittedly though, when I am live, possibly does end up being better to have a rapid fire sort of quest posting. Oh, we're doing another Tiger Stripe Seregios. This one is, I suspect, Frenzied. I don't think that's... Yeah, it is Frenzy. It's not Apex yet. I certainly don't want to be fighting an Apex Tiger Stripe Seregios. That's pretty gross. Alright, this is an opportunity for me to do Tiger Stripe once again with a Blade Master loadout. I'll bring a Sword and Shield, shall I? Looks like I don't have a Sword and Shield set in this game, so I'll just bring Element and... Nice. Daora's Maelstrom. %, affinity with element attack up and elemental crit. Sharpness +1, high grade earplugs. Good enough for me. I wonder when I will finally reach Hunter Rank 999 in this game. I do wonder. It was very easy for me to reach 999 in Generations Ultimate, because the accessibility of the game was such that I ended up helping multiple people with progressing through G rank. So I had a friend that I was getting into the old games, and he went and got Generations Ultimate, and I played with him. Got him through all of G rank, made a lot of armor sets for him. And then I had another person who I got into the series fresh. And he's wicked smart. He is so wicked smart. So getting him into Monster Hunter, it was insane. You know, you get someone into Monster Hunter and normally you expect a little bit of almost flailing uselessness for the first maybe 10 hours. But no, this guy was straight on it. He got comfortable with Monster Hunter real quick. And was playing well. And, yeah, so I got him through everything. Not that I carried him. He did a lot on his own, but I got him through a lot of high rank and G rank. Made lots of armor sets for him as well. And you see, as you do this is just, what it is it's effectively playing the game over multiple times. And when you do this, you really do blast through the ranks pretty quickly. Then I had Ethan as well, helped him through the G rank. So yeah, there were 3 separate people that I worked through G rank with in that game. And each time, I was just getting the same HRP that they were. So very quickly I was in Hunter Rank 999 territory. And then I was doing charm farming. And that was what topped me up. Took me to Hunter Rank 999. I can't remember when I hit 999. I think it was 2021. I think that's when it was. Feels a bit weird being frenzied. Almost a foreign feeling. If the head is being attacked, I might go for the dorsal fin instead. Ah, good. We've knocked him down again. But yeah, we'll see when I eventually get 999 in this game. I'm not expecting it... So for 3 Ultimate, I'm not expecting it until like 2030. No, beyond 2030. But for this game, I reckon it'll happen before 2030. Maybe 2027? That's my guess. Just a guess. Depends how sustained my play is. It feels so... All of those numbers that I just came out with, 2030, 2027, these all sound so fucking futuristic to me. And I guess that's what happens when you get a little bit older. You're just like, what? What are these years? It sounds like fucking space age shit. 2027, what's that? Anyway. Is what it is. I'm just patiently waiting for you to give me an opportunity, my friend. I'm feeling pretty effective right now, though. Definitely going Blade Master against this monster is a little bit less intimidating when you've got the level of mobility and guarding ability that the Sword and Shield has. Sword and Shield just... yeah, if you know how to use it, and it's not that hard to learn, you're kind of invincible. That's why I don't truly understand why later games decided that a better starting weapon was the longsword. Sword and Shield is just one of those really strange things. It's not very celebrated. It is an underrated weapon type. For how good it is and how comfortable it feels to me, it's just so uncelebrated. Alright, he should be going into the weak area. Good. I had confidence in our team effectiveness. I'm going to guess 10 more seconds for you to live. Dorsal fin. Yeah, about 10 seconds. Good guess. Probably less, actually. Nicely done. There was a little bit of repetition in this live stream, but it was still good fun. I think that turned out nicely. Ended up fighting 3 Tiger Stripe Zamtrios in the one live stream. Couldn't say I was expecting that to happen, but it was alright. But yeah, this loadout that I've got here is basically my Sword and Shield loadout from Generations Ultimate, now that I look at it. But interestingly, in Generations Ultimate I did decide that that was going to be my Sword and Shield specific set, whereas this is very much intended to be general use. The sort of thing that you would use alongside Longsword and Charge Blade. No, Switch Axe. I got it right the first time. You could hear me going, swish, swish, Charge Blade. No, you got it right. You mug. Alright. As I said, wasn't really intending to do 4 Ultimate again so soon. It just wound up being the best game that I could play. And I also find myself very chuffed to have been able to get into another room so easily. And indeed, these guys are a pleasure. They are good folks, nice and patient, playing at a healthy and comfortable pace, and just making their way through G-Rank. I wish them all the luck in the world. That's it for the live stream. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time I'm recording the endgame. See you then.